So hello guys, let me start in few seconds. So I'm just sharing the link to Anurag. Let me send that link to. Okay, so today we are going to start our session about the deployment of Zscaler. So let me wait for more people to join, then I can start. I think it's late night, so not sure. Maybe everyone available, but just see. Okay, so today we are going to start our session about the Zscaler. So let me wait for more people to join, then I can start. I think it's late night, so not sure. Maybe everyone available. Just see. Okay, so I'm just sharing my screen and let me know if everyone my screen visible to everyone. So Mac screen, let me bring Ula browser. Oh, shit. Okay, so let me see if uh, my screen is visible to everyone. I'm just seeing my screen, so I want to make sure that okay. Now I saw it is visible. Okay, great. So let me guys start. So you need to understand how this color deployed, right? So this is the important question. When you are going into interview or you got a part of implementation team, right? So this is very popular question people are asking, or you should be know. So when I say deployment you never get deployment you never get until unless you are part of project team, or you are part of maybe in some companies there is a new maybe somebody migrating from blue code to Zscaler. So in that case only you will get the you may be part of implementation team. So that's why whenever you are going for maybe interview or you are going for any other things, so you never much clear on that topic how you can explain what is the deployment method, right? So let me tell you, I will cover you and I will make it the language as easy as much as possible, so that everyone should understand. Okay, so now when I say deployment in the Zscaler, so there is a 4 or 5 type of deployment. Let me start one by one. So what is the first one? First one is the deployment method called IPsec or GRE tunnel. Okay, so what is that means? Suppose ideally what Zscaler recommended before going to the IPsec or GRE tunnel, I will give you some background. Okay, so suppose you are using in your company, you are using Windows, Mac, cameras, printers, right? Because companies are using multiple devices, and these are the non-OS devices, right? Basically this is not supported that Windows or Linux, right? If I'm talking about the printer, right? How can install some software on the printer, because printer haven't OS, right? So any device which haven't, actually you cannot install ZCC Zscaler client connector, then how can send those traffic to the Zscaler? So Zscaler is saying, don't worry, if you haven't installed ZCC on those machine, I will give you the option. You can configure GRE or IPsec tunnel. So how it work? This basically build the GRE tunnel from your company network. Suppose this is your company network, this is your router of company, after company maybe L3 switch, after L3 maybe L2, and then your printer, right? This is suppose a Windows laptops, this is the Linux laptop, or servers. So all these, or let me, CCTV cameras is here as well, right? So if you want that all traffic should go by a Zscaler, there is option on Windows, you can install ZCC even without IPsec tunnel. Your traffic will going to Zscaler through ZCC tunnel. Okay, ZCC guys, just I'll just give you the quick background here. ZCC is nothing. It's one of the software which you can install on individual machine. Like you are using Palo Alto Global Protect. In the ASA you are using AnyConnect, right? In the same way, ZCC is the one software which provided by the Zscaler to install on individual machine. Okay. So now this is the, okay, in Windows you install ZCC, so not require even IPsec tunnel. In Linux as well, basically Zscaler supported ZCC on the Linux, Windows, Mac, iOS and Android. Rest of all Zscaler haven't ZCC. So if I want to suppose send traffic of the printer, then how can send that traffic to the Zscaler? So then I come on the IPsec part. So how it does IPsec part? Suppose maybe my company belongs to Pune. Suppose I have a my head office is Pune, and I want to establish tunnel between from Pune location to Zscaler. So guys, how it identify the nearest data center of Zscaler from Pune to Zscaler, which is the Mumbai, right? Because this will be, maybe you also look up, or Zscaler also provide you these details. So if you want to, you can look up where is your company and what is the data center of Zscaler. So first you visited on this website called trust.zscaler.com. Why not accessible? Not sure what wrong with that. Trust Zscaler. Okay, I think something got wrong with it. Okay, no problem. So you visited on that website and the data center, you get it. Otherwise you will see there is all IP detail got from config.zscaler.com. So you will get all hub IPs. So whatever the hub you near to, you can get it the IPs from that. So how can that? Let me search Mumbai. You can see this is the Mumbai data center, and you can use, if you go here, you can see ZRE virtual IP. So you can use any one of the IPs like this and establish the GRE tunnel from your home router. Home router means I'm talking about the office router to the Zscaler. So when you are configuring GRE tunnel, guys, you no need to worry. You just add the Zscaler. What is that IP is? Let me tell you. 165.255.102.12. Okay, so what is that? 165.225.120.16. Okay, I think so, this is the correct 12, my bad, this is the 12. Okay, so this IP basically you can configure on your router to establish the IP's GRE tunnel between your router to the Zscaler. So people are asking the question, right? Because this is when you are configuring GRE on the router, that is part of your network team will do. If you're not managing that router, ideally we are belongs to security team, so this routing part and all will be deal by your this team called uh, network data team, right? But as a Zscaler engineer, what you need a more focus on, right? Because you need to add that IP on the portal as well. So I will tell you where you need to add, okay? So if you go here under Zia portal, this is the exact step you can configure the basically implement the Zscaler, or I can say the deployment method of Zscaler. So in the ZRE, and ZRE is the recommended method. I will tell you later why, but for now just understand what those settings you need to add on Zia portal to make sure that the Zscaler tunnel is established, right? So I will break down this in three part. Okay, let me come again on initial, where I started. So first thing what you need to do, whatever the location your company is, you can identify the nearest data center of Zscaler. Then second thing what you need to do, you can visit on the website called config.zscaler.com, and I know take it the IP of those data centers where you want to connect it ZRE tunnel. Note down those IPs. Then that IPs you can configure on your router if you are managing. If not, then you can give those IPs to a network team. They will configure. In third part, is it your responsibility to add those detail into the Zscaler portal? So I will tell you that part. So now where you can go, you log in on Zia portal. Now you can go under the administrator. So if you go under administrator, guys, under administrator you will see called static IP and ZRE tunnels, right? You click on that. Now what next is very simple step, okay? So you can see these IPs are already added here. So let me click on that. Then I will tell you what you need to add. This is the static IP. So what is that IP, guys? This is the static IP which you can add, you know, basically you are defining your own static IP. Okay. This is the location of this will automatically detected of your, basically you are adding your public IP under the static IP. Okay. So that this color fetch that static IP from this to allow your GRE tunnel. Okay. So that's it. One part what you need to do, you can add the static IP here. The second part, let me download the sample import so that I think I will bring this screen into, let me see if I can, not sure how I can bring this one. Okay, let me copy that. Okay, so I downloaded this sample file. So what you need to do if you want to configure ZRE tunnel, so now I will open online Excel sheet. Let me open just any creating a spreadsheet for you guys. I'm just copy and pasting here all detail. Oh, let me copy it again. Paste it there. Okay, so you can see this is the dummy sheet which I downloaded, and I'm just copy paste from here. So what detail you need to add, this is the basically sample data, so you can use based on your, I can say, company data, right? So you can define here the static IP whatever you have. This is 20.89.4.13. Then you can use your primary data center IP of Zscaler. Then you can add a secondary data center of IP of Zscaler. Now what you need to do next, you can define the internal IP range, right? 172 dot, because every when you are sending traffic, you can define the internal range, right? Under the tunnel, whatever that, range you define, so it will take it only that range, right? So you can define the range and be within the country. Suppose uh, if you want to fail over or backend server happen with the, this is by the way optional, is it based on if you're confident to put a true or false. So keep it or leave it as a blank, no problem. So you can actually configure like that, and once you configure, you can configure in the same way. Now I'm going to on the portal, static IP, primary data center, secondary data center, rest of part once you save it automatically came. Okay, so I need okay, so this is how what you need to do, right? And once you've done that, you can confirm to the network team that you have completed your part. Now they will test it and confirm you whether tunnel is up or down. Now if you go to the logs, there's actually remove myself somewhere here. Okay, so if you go to the analytics, there is a tunnel inside. Okay, this is the dedicated option you can get to see whether your tunnel is up or down, right? So if I can select all, so here you will see whether your tunnel is, if it's up, it will show you some data, because once tunnel is up, so data is going on there, right? So you can verify. Let me wait for, because I put it, I think whole current day whatever the IPsec log is coming. So I can wait for the some time. I think I put hold it. It's take time, and it's legitimate, guys. Whenever you are taking, it's taking time. It, you should be put filter as much as specific you want, because if you are putting filter broad, so it will be difficult, right? So you can put filter like I want to see the logs from last 1 hour. So let me see. So why I'm putting this, guys, filter under the tunnel inside, because I want to see what is the status of my tunnel, right? As a Zscaler, suppose your network is, team is saying there is no problem with me, okay, and then other team are saying, suppose his color is also confirming, I'm not sure where is the issue. Then as a G color engineer, what you need to do, you can go under the analytics. Under analytics, you can see the tunnel inside. Under tunnel inside, you can put the filter whatever the data you want. You can see I put it last 1 hour. It will take a time, guys. Meanwhile, this is how you can, let me bring myself on full screen. Okay, oh great, now it's coming. Okay, you can see your tunnel, what is that, tunnel 2.0 happen. Okay, log is sample type because we configure the sample. So this tunnel is established from this source IP to this destination IP, and this happen on AWS US best 2. Let me pick any one of other tunnel. Okay, suppose this one. Okay, guys, one more thing you can see, when anything like ZRE tunnel, it will see jet tunnel 2.0. When you see IPsec, means it will establish from your firewall to Zscaler, or basically IPsec tunnel established, it will go and give you the option called IPsec IK version 2. This is the source IP, this is public IP where you configured. This is the destination IP. If you want to see which data center of this IP, you can visit on same side. Okay, I think this was not accessible. Now it's accessible. Okay. So you visited on config.gsclaer.com. If I put filter control F and I put this filter, let me see. You can see this IP belongs to Washington DC. Okay, you can see this is the IP, and if I, okay, so this belongs to this data center. You know how you can identify this is the office location of your company. This send data, guys. Interesting part, if your tunnel is down, you will see that this data is 00. Okay, so you can see right now the data is increasing, means this tunnel is up and data is transferring, right? Also, if you want to more confirmation, there is one audit logs. On that you will see the exact tunnel status, whether it's down or up, right? So now you will see the packet is receiving, packet is sending, right? You can see in packet is increasing, right? If I highlight that, you can see packet is 9259 and 6269. So this is the send packet and this is the receive packet. If you see this packet is 0, means something got wrong. If your packet is increasing, so ideally the problem not with the tunnel, right? Because packet is increasing, right? If you want to more confirmation, you can see the audit logs. If tunnel is up, that's okay. If not, because we are Zscaler is as a SaaS service, right? So you haven't controlled their device. So what you need to do, you can go here and open ticket with Zscaler. So I will also tell you how you can open the ticket with Zscaler. I will tell you guys. Second, you can go here under the question mark. Then you can see here call submit. You can see this option. Sorry, my bad. Submit ticket. Okay, once you click on that, it will be automatically redirected to the support portal where you can define and open the ticket. Okay, now guys, I will tell you quickly the second option of the deployment in the same way like ZRE is the IPsec. Okay, so IPsec, if anybody belongs to firewall background, so it happened in two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. And this is also provide the CIA, confidentiality, integrity and authentication, right? So in that case, what happened when you are using the IPsec on the between the firewall to the Zscaler, you will configure in the same way, but for the IPsec you require Zscaler tag or the call. The reason behind that, because sometimes you need to do the troubleshooting. So ZRE tunnel is okay, it will be automatically established, but for IPsec you need to require the Zscaler tag on the call. Okay, so to do the troubleshooting if something got wrong, right? And again, there is a pre-requirement of the IPsec tunnel. If somebody join my firewall classes, then you guys know that. So the port, how many port? 500 is UDP is required for phase 1, and phase 2 there is a two protocols should be open. The first protocol is 5150. This is the ESP, and this is the AH protocol that should also allow, right? 4500 is also required if we are using NAT-T, right? So the connectivity between your firewall to the Zscaler, the port should be enabled so that the tunnel is established. So now break down this IPsec part. What you need to do, you can configure the IPsec, where you can get it the IP. You can go here again and took the IPs and configure it, right? Okay, so you can go here and configure that, right? Or you can directly reach out to Zscaler. They will also help you out, give you the exact, maybe for verification. I don't want, you can without confirmation of Zscaler, you can start, at least you can verify is this correct. Because what happens sometimes, Zscaler upgrading their data centers on on frequently. So you should be verify whatever the data center you are going to connect, that is the capable or not to handle all traffic, right? So that's one thing need to make sure to verify. Now guys, what next? Okay, once you got the IP address, your firewall team, or you maybe you are managing the firewall, you can configure phase 1, phase 2. And now as a Zscaler point of view, what you need to do, right? So in the Zscaler point of view, where you can go again under the administrator. Under the administrator, if you go under the VPN credential, you can see here VPN credential. So this is the one option which you need to require when you are going for IPsec. And here guys, what you need to do, you can just configure the you know pre-shared key, whatever the shared key you are using during, because you guys know that when you are configuring IPsec tunnel, you need to require pre-shared key to share in phase 1, right? So you can define your pre-shared key, right, which you can use during the tunnel implementation, right? So this is the only one thing you will do, and once you've done, your tunnel will be came up and you can enjoy, right? So now how it easy, right guys? So it's not difficult. So if you could go to the firewall, suppose, because when you are configuring the, ideally what happen from your company router to the Zscaler, no, nothing should be blocked. If it's a ZRE tunnel, then whatever the required port that should be allowed. If it's IPsec, then whatever port should be required from the your router to the Zscaler. So because once, suppose your router is behind the firewall, so firewall is blocking those ports, so sometime tunnel is not coming up. So you make sure that the port is required, whatever the port required by Zscaler should be blocked, should be allowed, not a block. Okay, so now I'm back to the different deployment model. Okay, so the different deployment model is the ZCC. This is the Zscaler client connector. Let me go back directly to my slide. I will later tell you these as well, but for now, today I'm going to explain deployment method. So keep focus on that. Okay. So let me come on our slide. You can see Zscaler recommended that you can use the ZRE. Okay, Zscaler recommended that to use the ZRE tunnel. Okay, so why it recommended? Because Zscaler compared to the IPsec, compared to the IPsec, Zscaler is giving you a higher throughput, right? It will be 1 Gbps. So you always, this color, that's why I recommended to go with the ZRE. Until unless you have a limitation, sometime you are using firewall as a perimeter device. So every company have set up like that. You have a router, after router maybe you have ISP router, right? After that, and here is the firewall L3, L2, like that, right? But suppose you haven't router here, instead of you are directly connected firewall with the ISP, means this is the last device of your company. So in the firewall, maybe firewall not supported ZRE tunnel, some of the firewall is not supported. In that case, you will go with the IPsec because you haven't option, right? But by default, Zscaler recommended it, and I noticed that people are using SD-WAN, so they are also configuring ZRE tunnel. So what is the benefit of ZRE tunnel is inline traffic forwarding, means because once traffic from all company internet network, it will directly reach to the router, and once it reach to the router, there is already router connected with the Zscaler ZRE tunnel, so traffic will take care by that. No changes on desktop, so ZCC is not required in that case. Sublocation policy, you can see here this sublocation policy accepted by that. Sublocation means suppose you have a one location called Pune. In Pune, you have a sublocation called Hinjwadi phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like that, right? So you can support that kind of setup. Seamless failover is there, no headache because it's easy to failover. Least overhead, once you set up, is it 3-4 line command run on the router, once you run it will automatically establish the tunnel. IP segregate support, this is important. Okay, so I will tell you maybe later that uh, okay, I will tell you this later. Okay, so the caveats of ZRE is it requires the static IP on the egress interface. ZRE capable because ZRE should be supported by firewall or router. That of course is required. The main part is the static IP needed on the egress device, right? So second option is the IPsec. You can see in IPsec inline everything is there like same, right? Just added the encryption because this is supported IPsec. Dynamic IP on the branch offices is okay. IPsec setup latency at the failover and overhead of the router or firewall because it's very difficult to configure. Phase 1 is coming up, then phase 2 not. If something mismatch, it doesn't come up, right? You guys know that. So this is a little bit difficult, but again, based on your company requirement, you can go ahead with the whether IPsec or GRE tunnel. So Zsclaer recommended go with the GRE tunnel. If there is any dependency, then go with that. Okay, and this supported dynamic IP on the branch offices. So now, guys, the third option of the deployment called proxy chain. So what is the proxy chain? I will tell you. Eh, so see, this I'm thinking. What is the proxy chain? I'm thinking about the selling. Selling perspective. Sorry. So what is the selling perspective? How they are selling actually that? So okay, so guys, how they are selling. Basically, this color is saying if you are using any firewall in your company, which is legacy firewall, and still you want to use the G's color, so I have an option called a proxy chain. So you don't worry how it implement, how it will be go ahead. So I have option. You can use that and basically what happened, I will take it your all data from your legacy proxy like blue code trend micro, right, or any other proxy, and directly send to the Zscaler. So on their sell perspective, this is good features they are targeting, right? So but people are not using. I'm not, I haven't seen anywhere that kind of setup, but this is how actually this happen, right? So now let me back again our slide. So proxy chaining is no changes on network. If you are using already existing network, and because when you are to implement the Zscaler, it will disturb your all, you require downtime because it will involve all IPsec, ZRE tunnel and all, like it disturb your traffic. Suppose you are the manufacturer company and you don't want to downtime. So in that case, this color recommended go with proxy chain method. I will take all data from the your legacy proxy and send to the Zscaler. So I don't want to change anything on your existing network. So that is also good. The only thing you require, what you need to do, the sub location using XFF. XFF is the HTTP header which actually expose the actual source IP. Okay, if somebody belongs to F5, you guys know that how you identify the actual source on the backend server, right? You enable this XFF header, right? So automatic failover happen. So we till now discussed three method: ZRE, which is recommended by Zscaler; IPsec, which is again based on your company requirement; and third one is proxy chaining. Right? Three option is there. Now discuss about the four option that called pack file. Okay, so pack file you cannot 100% depend on pack file. Pack file, what my understanding or people are how using in their companies, pack file is just an add-on option. When I say add-on means you are using IPsec, you are using CRE, and you are using ZCC. Same time you can use the pack file. The benefit of the pack file is Suppose some traffic you don't want to send to the Zscaler. Basically, I will tell you the requirement, right? Suppose I have one of the requirement where I don't want to send traffic to the Zscaler. uh, Suppose there is a one Chinese website called xyz.cn, okay, China. So this website, if you are sending to the Zscaler, this is blocking. So in that case, what you need to do, suppose you don't want to bypass on the Zscaler, so you can bypass this into pack file. So I can do that. If any user hitting this website, that should be go via direct instead of sending to the Zscaler. So pack file is always good. So it will it will be helpful. It will be modify your as much as possible whatever your company requirement you can achieve through pack file, right? Pack file used to manipulate your traffic, so you cannot use as a primary deployment of pack file. You can use add-on with ZCC, okay, or IPsec. If ZCC is there, means end user traffic will be directly communicate. Now guys, the this last one called ZCC, this is what I was talking about. The Zscaler client connector is the one which is the install on end user machine, right? Enforce this to send traffic to the Zscaler. Full failover is not required because it's end user. Once you install ZCC on the user machine, it will be directly communicate to the Zscaler client connector. Cloud service edge, okay. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about ZCC. So if you are using only, suppose you have a 10 user, uh, even Zscaler targeting those who have a minimum license, maybe 10, 20, 30. Suppose you have a 10 users and you want to use Zscaler. So you haven't office, right? You're all user working from home. So in that case, you not required to go with the IPsec, because IPsec or ZR is required during once you have any device which is not supported by ZCC, like cameras, CCTV, printers. These are not supported ZCC, right? But suppose you have only requirement to, suppose you have a 10 user and all working from remote, and you want to use Zscaler. So what you need to do, you can install ZCC client connector on their machine, and their machine will be automatically establish the tunnel from their machine to the Zscaler. So how it identify from Zscaler user laptop to Zscaler services, they are using the Maxmind database, which I already covered in previous classes, right? And interviewer asked this question, mostly, that how end user is identify the Zscaler nearest data center. So guys, I think we are good. Let me recap whatever we discussed today, and then we'll bind up our class. Okay, so okay, so today we are discussed about the deployment method of the Zscaler. So we discussed about five method. One is the ZRE tunnel, IPsec tunnel, ZCC, Zscaler client connector application, proxy chain, and pack file, right? So based on your requirement, you can use as per convenience of your client. I also told you how you can implement from the scratch, right? So some guys are talking about what exact command you are running on router or firewall. So I will suggest, so if you want to learn how to establish that, I will recommend it the website called lab.techclick.in. Let me go back there, and no problem. I think I will discuss that later. So if you have any doubt, you can put on comment, and if you still want to some more things key in or related to today topic, put on the comment. I will try to respond, and we'll continue this series. So whoever want to learn Zscaler, you can suggest this YouTube channel to subscribe and continue. Thanks for watching. We'll meet tomorrow with the new topic and we'll start. Thank